Hey, this is Drew, the driver with Riding to Cash. I decided to make a long form video. This is about 20 minutes long, and it is involving a lot of clips of my night of working when I collect scooters. So hopefully this is going to help some people who are spin employees or even people who are just capturing other types of scooters. The video is focused primarily on doing it for spin, which is why I'm mostly hitting already groups of scooters that were in place, ones that are unridden, so groups of 3, 4, 5 at a time. So I'm picking up all the ones that needed that haven't been ridden, because spin has all of the scooters swept up off the street every night, so it's not just the ones that have been driven, and that's just to conform to potentially future regulations where they require them off the street every day. I don't know if that's the case, if it's going to happen, but basically they want all of them off the street so no vandalism happens, theft or damage, whatever. And that's just the system they've set up. So as a clever employee who charges scooters, my goal is to focus on the best way to make the most money. So I pick up the hubs first, and if I don't hit the quota by the hubs, I then add all of the singular ones that I find on the street. So that's how I work so fast and how I am able to load so effectively. So hopefully you like this video. Alright, so when I capture scooters, I like to bring tape so that I can cover the light, and then on the map it shows that there's several. This area right here has 3, so I'm going to capture them. So normally I park right next to where they're at, but this time I couldn't because downtown can be tricky. So I'm loading them up onto each other. Load them up. Try to prevent it from falling over. done. So it's the worst thing to happen when you get to your site of scooters and there's a missing head. We did a systems update 2 nights ago on spin, and now I have to deal with taking it over to the warehouse for spin, which is like Pacific Beach, La Jolla area. I also am not going to know which one of these scooters is the one on the map because there's another one that's missing. So I'm going to have to just drive it around and then see which one I'm being followed by. It's going to set off the alarm and go off and all that stuff, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So that's just a part of doing this, and it sucks when it happens because as employees, we have to just go drop them off and deal with a lot of the BS. So I was able to unlock these 3 because they're on the map and they were available for me to pick up, but that one I can't until I see what the code is. So that's it, yeah. Once I get a couple on, because of the size of my truck, I start to load it on the inside as well. And that's how I'm able to carry as many as I do. 3 layers, as you can see. And to avoid any issues with scooters like falling over, I do my best to strap them in. Usually I need a couple more to get the strap to hold each other, and the sheer weight keeps it in place. And then when I eventually leave the area and go faster, I wrap it around with a strap, one of those ratchet straps. And you'll see, because I'll show you that process too. Yep.
570-1933. Remember, 3 out of the 9 songs. That's all you gotta give me. Number 1, Billie Eilish. Bad Guy.
As you can see, people kind of make a mess. They don't really follow the system, keeping it nice and rich. That alarm is from the one that's headless, and I haven't captured it yet because it's being moved. I know, this one's like just going off and then another one. Oh, you beat? Oh, okay. Well, I found it. Have a good one, dude.
Fellow employee.
Yep. So you've got to be careful when you're driving around in especially a downtown area or a heavily metro area. Lots of taken parking spaces and red zones, and just be careful when you park, because you definitely don't want to be parked illegally or illegally for too long, because you could get a ticket. You know, some cops are not so favorable for people who just willy-nilly park anywhere. And while you're working, especially for a zone that isn't regulated and passed out based on sections, you're going to be competing with other chargers, so you'll encounter them. So just be aware, and you know, if someone already beats you to it, there's no reason to compete for it. It's not meant to be that way, so just be careful like that, and just follow laws and regulations in regards to the way you park, essentially is what I'm trying to say. Like right now I'm about to park in a red zone right in front of a fire hydrant because it's the best route to get to where I need to go. So yeah. So I'm gonna load them up to write it multiple in one. I don't have to go far, so I don't have to make it too stable. So you essentially crisscross. You don't need to run this clutch in the way. And the only reason I would do that and not just like leave them where they are, take one at a time or two at a time, is because they're unlocked scooters. Anyone who sees that they're unlocked can jump on it and just start driving away, and then it would be a pretty big pain to figure out which scooter that you're in possession of that they're actually riding away with in the system, to then lock it and go find it, because it'll basically, I can remotely lock all of these, which if I did that, it would stop them dead in their tracks and they'd fall. But I don't want to do that, especially because it could hurt someone, and also because if they get away in time, like, then they have a scooter that I'm supposed to be responsible for. So that's why I don't do that. I try to pick them all up and run with them at the same time. For other companies, because the app's more accurate. You're an employee, you have kind of quotas you're supposed to be hitting, like a certain number of scooters are released based on your capacity, minimum of 20. So right here, I have my minimum quota of 40. On my actual list, there's only 39, and one of which is not seeming to unlock because it looks like it's dead in the head or whatever, where it won't recognize that I captured it from the scooter, not from the app. And then another one has no head, but I also don't know the number to capture it. So I've got my minimum 40, I'm finished, and I'm gonna go over to a more lit area and then show when I strap it all together to secure it safely. So now we're gonna go do that. So it's really important to make sure that everything on your truck that you've loaded up with scooters stays on your truck. So you need to keep the load secure. And this is what you can see. Right now I've got 40 scooters, and I'm going to use these tie downs to tie it all together and keep it secure. So because spins have these cages, I use those as the anchor point. Tight, and the weight of it keeps it in place because it's like secured. I tie them to themselves on one side, then the other, and I finish with one across both, and then that keeps the whole thing secured. Most part, the sheer weight of the scooters keep them in place, and having it tied like that, for any to fall back would need the whole force of all of them. And right now there's 40, so that's 1,200 pounds of scooters. So they hold in place like that, and that's how you, at minimum, do this. Most people will tie down more to the truck, and you can do that to secure it more accurately. So that's how it's done. Shout out to my friend Andrew, and actually my brother-in-law for the person who actually filmed all of these clips tonight. He was helping me out because I was just wondering if he was available, which he was. So we spent about an hour and a half with me filming each of the clips, and a lot more of was filmed, but I cut and paste different sections of the videos for the most valuable content. And thank you, Andrew, and I'll put a link to his YouTube and stuff like that in my description. But if you liked what you saw, also check his page out and show some support. So thank you so much. And if you do like this video or did like the video, please like the channel, subscribe, and like the video and share with your friends, and maybe consider joining the Spin team or start charging scooters for Bird or Lime. Or Lyft or whatever. There's so many different scooter companies now. You can join any of them. Have a great night.